the best of my ability, man. Lord willing. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit, but willing that they continue to endure and be sincere. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth, teaching this word and believing this word, but willing that they continue to endure and be sincere in the same spirit. And shalom to the Akwatiyum that are believers that is faith and is truth, but willing that to continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent virtuous wife. The Lord willing the most have mercy on all the brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. Um, right before I was going to even do a video, I kept seeing videos just the past few minutes. Um, Even a brother from Jagged Edge saying it doesn't matter if we have a difference. That's, our brother. You got other people going into different doctrines and saying, we're brothers of the faith or sisters of the faith. It doesn't matter if you teach that or teach that. Lord willing, I'm not. Lord willing, I don't take long with this. Now, we could go here and here, but I titled this No Division but Harmony Joined Together. When you look up the word harmony, it means combination of tones pleasing to the ear, which to the spirit, I gotta look up because the camera is right there. The combination of tones pleased to the ear is because this truth is a song. Shalom, shalom, my father. This truth is a song. And, you're supposed to be singing this song daily, let alone you want the Lord to hear you being active, especially men. Men are supposed to, especially if you're called to be a prophet, you're supposed to be bringing forth the prophecies and getting our people ready, right? It says also the name of a musical instrument. In the Latin, it means agreement or concord of sounds. Uh, Means of joining, settled government or order, right? You got other sense to it, but agreement, combination of tones pleasing to the ear, right? And means of joining, right? So what is being taught has to be appealing to the ear, and it has to be in agreement. So let me just get this before we hop into multiple precepts. Um, First one I want to get is Amos, because a lot of people really think uh, it's okay if you teach something different. That is not true, right? I used to think that too. This is not somebody forcing me to. It makes sense, right? And we're gonna get one church, one faith, one God is always one. Uh, Proverbs. Let me get this first. This is Amos through chapter 3 in verse 3. It says, "Can two walk together except they be agreed?" So it's five people on this now. It might be other people watching this later. If I'm telling you only Israelites can be saved, get salvation, get glorified bodies, you either gonna say yes or you're gonna say no. I give you the precepts on it. You're like, oh, I get it now. Then we can agree. But say if every precept that's brought out, you still don't agree. We can't walk together on that topic. So then we go somewhere else. We still can't agree. It is better that you don't listen to me so that you don't get confused. It's not about who sounds good, who looks attractive, because the Lord is not a respect of person. And that's where it comes where you want to hear this person teach, that person teach, but you don't agree to it. I just love my brothers. Brothers is somebody that's walking with you. right? When you look at, let me get this. This is Mark 3:35. This is a classic in the gospel. Yahweh Shai said this for a reason, right? Starting at verse 33, they basically they were saying, "Behold, thy mother and thy brother without seek for thee." And he answered them, saying, "Who is my mother or my brother, my brethren?" And he looked around about on them which sat about him, and said, "Behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of God, the same as my brother and my sister and my mother." This is a wholesome. Whoever do the will of his father is his brother, mother, and sister. Whatever the Lord told us to do is throughout the whole Bible, because the Lord even gave Yahushua commands, especially for the disciples, on what to teach, how to move, right? False teachers, such and such and such, right? How are we supposed to move? If we all was moving the way that the Lord told us to move, that would be one song, right? Let me get this side one real quick. Proverbs 4 and 2, but I'll read 1 and 2. Verse 1, it says, "Hear ye children the instruction of a father." Instructions can even go into the law, statutes, commandments, and instructions can go to when Joshua told the Israelites to walk around Jericho 7 times. That's instructions. Or if the Lord say, when you go into Jericho, don't touch anything or it's going to be a curse. Those are instructions. So on and so on. Hey, whatever you teach, it has to be, "Thus saith the Lord." The word has to come unto you. Or say if it's a prophet of the Lord and you're re-quoting what he said to somebody else. That's like, what is it called? It's a game that we played when we was in high school, where you in class and one person is whispering one thing and it goes around the whole class, and then by the time it goes to the teacher, she or he is gonna see if the same thing was said all the way around. But in most cases, it gets changed or it gets deep. Somebody missing a word. When it comes to this truth, it has to be the same thing around, right? Verse 2, it says, "For I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my law." So part of this doctrine is the law, but let alone if we go get the etymology word for doctrine, it goes into other things too, right? So when we look at the whole book of the Bible, the whole volume of the book, it is one doctrine, one doctrine. So it doesn't matter if you join in this camp, that camp, that camp. Somebody has to be teaching no lie, right? Which we're going to get later on, which lines up with Revelation, the 14th chapter, and what goes with 1 John 2 and 21. It cannot be no lie of the truth, right? Why did not the false prophets, yeah, Lord willing I can, why why did not the prophets teach with the false prophets? Why did not the apostles teach with the Pharisees and Sadducees? Like, I'm talking about teaching. Yahushua told his disciples to go out to the highways and byways. Why he didn't say that to the Pharisees? Why wasn't the Pharisees out teaching? Why wasn't the false teacher standing right beside Jeremiah when he was standing outside of the gates of Jerusalem prophesying? Why did not a false prophet come up to Jonah and shake the hand to Nineveh? Right? Now, of course, we see the 12 disciples, and Judas betrayed Yahushua, but eventually he died. We can't be in this time arguing about, oh, this over here, they teaching this. Oh, we should all come together. And then my elders and the apostles from Great Millstone and the affiliates, brothers is studying more and understanding like we all should be teaching the same thing. And if you're not teaching the same thing, the Rakak Wadash haven't moved you to doing that. It's brothers in camps and women in camps that don't agree with certain things of their camp, but they like their camp, right? And that goes into certain breakdowns, right? So 1 Corinthians 1 and 10. This is Paul, in Corinth, and he's speaking about contention in the church. So it says, "Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Yahushua Hamashiach, that ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind, in the same judgment." Now, of course, we're going to give sense on Is Hamashiach divided? Was Paul crucified? But the point is verse 10. He said, speak, ye all speak the same thing, that there be no divisions among you. Why should it not be divisions among you? Because it's going to cause confusion. If you saying this and that person saying that, the person gonna be like, wait, who should I follow? He going in precepts, he going in precepts, but who is who? Right? Through the discernment of the spirit, a sheep is going to know the voice of the Lord. Right? And this lines of what Yarmayan said at work. The Rakak Wadash is in the true teachers. Regardless, it doesn't matter if you don't believe anything I'm saying, but the scriptures makes it make sense. The Rakak Wadash is not given to everybody. Because to have the Rakak Wadash, you gotta go into the deep things. When you go into deep things, the sheep is gonna know if you are the spirit of Yahushua. The law is the milk. But when you go into prophecy, that is the spirit of Yahushua. So the more you in prophecies and parables and dark sayings, the sheep is going to know, is that Yahushua voice? So let's go to St. John 10. He is saying this for a reason. St. John chapter 10, verse 25. Yahushua answered them, I told you, and ye believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. But ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep. As I said unto you, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. Wait, hold on. If you follow him, you're following his instructions. We're going to go back to St. John 10, right? If you're following him, you're going to follow his instruction. Let's get one instruction, right? This is Luke chapter 9, verse 23. And he said to them all, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross daily, and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. But whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. Yahushua was setting up his ministry, so when he leaves, those teachers or those new husbandmen, because the Pharisees fell off because they didn't believe in Yahushua. So Yahushua was setting up a new authority through the disciples. So any one of these disciples or believers that eventually are going to be teachers of the gospel in the whole volume of the book, they have to pick up their cross, deny themselves, be humble, be lowly, take up your cross, which is your affliction, and follow me. So anybody that saved their life shall lose it. Anybody that lose their life for my sake shall gain it. Only the apostles did that in the New Testament. And then it was a falling away where the word was shut that fulfills Daniel the 12th chapter, the 4th verse. Right? The books was shut. The wisdom and knowledge was not going in the earth because it's no teachers teaching. Let's get another instruction, but let's go in the Old Testament real quick. And I keep bringing this verse out. This is how I know I might be bringing this out at camp. This is Daniel chapter 9 and verse 9. It says, in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, our power, belong mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. Neither have we obeyed the voice of Yahweh our power, to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants the prophets. So even the seers and the prophets was forcing and giving the law, just like in Samuel, when he was talking to Saul and so on, or in the Judges, or in Joshua, or in Moses. But even Moses, in between the law, he was bringing up prophecies. So that was still instructions, and Israel didn't believe it. We can tell, because Israel is not living in their land. So Moses was speaking the same thing. Joshua was speaking the same thing. Right? Let's go to something in the history. Let's go to Chronicles, the 16th chapter. Right? Starting at verse 10. It says, glory ye in his holy name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek Yahweh. David knew his name, and the other believers, all Israel at that time knew the Heavenly Father's real name, which was Yahweh, right? And even some did know the name of Yahweh Shai through the Spirit, right? Because wisdom or the Spirit of the Lord is going to teach you all things, which was fully developed in the New Testament, right? But verse 11, it says, seek Yahweh in his strength. Seek his face continually. How do you seek his face? By reading. You're not just reading one part, you're reading the whole thing. In the time of when Israel was walking, or with Moses, they was reading the Torah. Then so on and so on. Then they had the history so that they can remember the time of David, the time of Solomon. Then they go into the Psalms. Then when they go into Jeremiah time, and then this and this and that, then eventually Jeremiah has his writings, which keep getting burnt. And then Baruch got his book, so on and so on. But it fully got established in the time of Yahushai, even in the Maccabees, where they was reading the law, the Psalms, and the prophets. Then in the time of Yahushai, they were reading the law, the Psalms, the prophets, and the Apocrypha as a whole. The New Testament was not there yet, right? So we're seeking the face of the Lord at that time. Now we're in this time where we have the whole volume of the book. So we can seek the Lord in the old Apocrypha and the new, which is all one book. So if this is one book, that means it's one doctrine, is one faith. And we have to go in this book to get the understanding. But the Lord set up men that's going to give us these things. Now, we can keep on reading, but let's go to this in St. John 4 before we go back to St. John 10. This is St. John 4, verse 36. He that reapeth receiveth wages, gathereth fruits unto life eternal, that both he that soweth and he that reapeth may rejoice together. And herein is that saying true. One soweth and another reapeth. I sent you to reap that whereon ye bestow no labor. Other men labored, and ye are entered into their labors. So in all time, when Moses gave up the ghost, Joshua entered into Moses' labor. Joshua gave up the ghost, the judges entered into their labors. When the judges fell, right, or gave up the ghost, then the last one was Samuel. He entered into their labor. And then the next prophet, Nathaniel, then Gad, and then the other ones, they all entered into the labor of the ones before them. Elijah, he entered into the labors of the other ones. He thought he was the only one. The Lord said, I have 7,000 left, which is in 1 Kings, the 19th chapter. They entered into the labors of the prophets, seers, evangelists before their time. Jeremiah, Micah, Nahum, Daniel, Isaiah, Obadiah, Malachi, all of them entered into other men's labors before their time. Then in the Maccabees before their time. And then when we get to the New Testament, Yahushua came, which he was a reflection of being a prophet because Moses prophesied of him. And then the disciples entered into that labor, let alone Yahushua is the author and the finish of our faith. That's the closing. So everybody all the way to 2025 entered into somebody else's labor. Everything in this Bible was written because the Lord put them to work. So everything from the prophets to the apostles, they were all teaching the same thing, just different, right? It's still the same thing, just the delivery is a little different because the Lord was dealing with them in a different level or a different way. Now, I want to get something just to prove that case if I can. Right here. Pay attention. This is 2nd Esdras. The 11th and 12th chapter is going into Rome. It goes, chapter 11 goes into the 12 feathers go into Rome, the 12 Caesars. Nobody else. This is going into Rome. Now, I'm going to read this. This is 2nd Esdras 12, verse 10. It says, and he said unto me, this the interpretation of the vision. The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel. But it was not expounded unto him as I declared it unto thee. Behold, the time is coming that there shall rise a kingdom on the earth, and the same shall be more terrible than all the kingdoms that were before him. So the Lord just said through an angel, because he having a vision, this is an angel interpretation to Ezra, the prophet, the priest Ezra. And he's telling them this is the vision that was told to Daniel, but it wasn't expounded the same way to Daniel. So he's getting a more clear understanding of the fourth beast in Daniel, the seventh chapter. Hey, it's 11:44. All praise to Yahweh Bashim Shai Bashim Rakakodash. But again, I'm going to read that part again. Verse 10. And he said unto me, which is the angel, talking to Ezra, this is the interpretation of the vision. The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel, but it was not expounded unto him as I declare it unto thee. So how it's about to be how it was expounded to Ezra, it wasn't expounded to Daniel the same way, because it goes from verse 1 to verse 8. It goes into the fourth beast, and then it goes into the little horn, and then it goes into some multiple details, and then Yahweh Shai, and then more details. Second Esdras 11 and 12 go more in depth with the fourth beast. They're still teaching the same thing. It's just one expounded a little deeper. Just like Isaiah and Jeremiah expounded a little deeper. Let alone Isaiah was prophesying of Israel and Yahushua and Babylon and Esau, such and such and such. But then Jeremiah was prophesying the same thing, but different. Zechariah prophesying damn near the same thing, but a little different, right? Because the Lord was expounding or expressing the understanding to them in a different way so that they can speak. I'm a Dargabar. Yarmayan over there. When he teach, we're basically teaching the same thing. I might add a certain word. He might add a certain word. But we're singing the same song, especially when it comes to the six. Ezra could say, hey, this is going with the book of Daniel, the seventh chapter, and he quoted and he was speaking of this beast. That's in 2nd Ezra 11 and 12. You just read two whole chapters of the fourth beast that's in Daniel, and you'll be like, wait, damn, this is deep. This is giving me all the details of the fourth beast in Daniel. So they're still teaching the same thing. Go back to 1 Corinthians 1 and 10. That just proved what we're reading in 1 Corinthians. Did they have any division? Did they have any confusion? No. 1 Corinthians 1 and 10. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, that ye all speak the same thing, that there be no divisions among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. So they both were in the same mind. They had no division. It's just one was given a more deeper expounding on the fourth beast than the other. That's it. That is it. But they were teaching the same thing. So in this time, there's no such thing as all congregations having the truth. All congregations might have a taste or a bit of it, but it is one congregation that's constantly flowing, teaching 100% of the truth, and constantly cleaning the breakdowns, and sharpening up and delivering it to the sheep daily. Daily. Yahushua told Peter before he left, feed my sheep, feed my flock. He told him 3 times because he knew Peter was stubborn. And that's how Israel is as a whole. So the true teachers on this side are teaching daily. And through the Spirit, for me, y'all might not see it. I'm not here to make you. I'm constantly seeing the elder apostle Tahar, Gabar, and so on, constantly teach and do a lesson and sharpen and rebuke. We can go in these scriptures where it says it's better to rebuke than hear the songs of fools. The prophets are supposed to rebuke Israel. Didn't Moses rebuke Israel? Didn't Joshua? Didn't so on and so on? Didn't Jeremiah rebuke Israel? You turn your back unto me while I was rising up early. Did he rebuke Hananiah for falsely prophesying and said the 7th month of this year you're going to die? Rebuke is good because then you get to hear it and then make a correction. If you don't accept the rebuke, the blood is on your hands. All the prophets of old did that. Even what Paul was over here just saying in the people of Corinth that our Israelites make speak the same thing in no division because they was not speaking the same thing and they had division. Why would you say something if somebody's not doing it? Because they was doing it. That's why he was speaking and saying that it should not be no division among you. You should be all speaking the same thing. Now back to St. John chapter 10 and verse 27. My sheep hear my voice and I know them. They follow me. The real sheep of Yahushua has always came back with a new flesh, but their spirit came back on the earth for their judgment, but they always come back to the Lord. Always come back to the Lord. That's like this might be a small dumb example, but your daughter go to sleep. We talk about a little baby that don't really know anything, and the baby sleep, the baby wake up, you not in the room, mommy, daddy, or crying. That baby is looking for mommy and daddy. Through the spirit, that's a shepherd, right? The same as go on YouTube for yourself and look up sheep and the shepherd, call the sheep name, and all the sheep come. Go watch videos of somebody that's not a shepherd of sheep calling the sheep and the sheep don't answer. That is the example of Yahushua. But in this time, the Lord is doing the same thing of old using the prophets. Let's go to this one. Hebrews 1 and 1, the classic that we always bring out. God, who at sundry times in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets. So in time past, he spoke by the prophets. Everybody want to use certain verse. Oh, ain't nothing new under the sun. But when you talk about prophets, it's no such thing as prophets right now. This is Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. The thing that have been, it is the thing which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. So it's prophets that's back on the earth again. A prophet is not just anybody. A prophet is going to be singing the same song as another prophet. Let's get this. Spirit of the prophets is subject to the prophets. Let's get that real quick. 1 Corinthians 14 and 32. It says, the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. Hold on, wait a second. Let's go to Psalms 104, verse 4. So the spirits of the prophets is subject to the prophets. Psalms 104, verse 4. Who maketh his angels spirits? What is an angel? A messenger. His ministers a flame of fire. So it's brothers that's on this side that have a fire in them to do lessons after lessons. There's nothing wrong with doing lessons because a lesson is going to feed the sheep. Don't the Lord tell us to edify, right? Edify means to build up. If you don't know what Daniel the 7th chapter is going into, and you go into all these pastors and they don't know, but then one brother is breaking it down, telling you to write these precepts, go read it for yourself, see if you get it. But I'm going to guide you in this. Through the Spirit, that is a prophet, because the Lord have given him the ability to understand the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, because his spirit is subject to the prophets, because he in most instances, he is a prophet, right? Because a sheep is hearing the voice of the Lord. So if the spirit of the prophet is subject to a prophet, that means if that prophet is listening to another prophet, he is a sheep. Plain. Verse 33, for God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. The saints is the Israelites. Those are the elect. Those are the faithful of the ministry. So it's no confusion. If you believe in reincarnation, regenerations, the prophets are coming back on the earth over and over again because this is their labor. When you say works, there's no faith, no works, no works without faith. The work is not only the law. When you go into, depending if you go into James, the word for works even goes into labor or occupation. Being a prophet, evangelist, a teacher, a pastor is an occupation. That is a laborer, right? So really, when you first think about these scriptures, it deals with the men of the Lord. Hey, this is the best fantasy book then. I'm having a good time following it, you know? That's beautiful. Let me get this just because that person just said that. 1 Corinthians. I'm glad you said that. I'm definitely glad you said that. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 21. For after that, in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God. It pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. Yes, preaching his word do look foolish, but it's only for the ones that believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine with it. If you don't believe in it, me over here, I am. At the end of the day, slide to the left like Beyonce. The ones that don't believe in the Lord is going to be destroyed. And that's fine by me, But again, you got to have faith in this thing. Let's get that one too. Romans 10 and 17. So that faith cometh by hearing, and the hearing by the word of God. Hey, the same spirits of old is back on the earth. Everybody's not going to believe in this truth. Everybody is not going to hear this word. And that's what this is about. I'm not here to save everybody that look like a Jake. I'm only here for the ones that want to learn and that believe. So let's get back into it. Let's go to Jeremiah 32. Jeremiah 32, verse 42, real quick. This is what it reads. It says, for thus saith Yahweh, like as I have brought all this great evil upon this people, so will I bring upon them all the good that I have promised them. Right? The children of Israel is getting the end of the stick. That's Daniel chapter 9, verse 12. Nobody out of any nation, had this type of problem outside of Israel. Right? And the Lord have done this unto us because we rebelled against him, right? And everything that we have done is right in our faces. That's why you really can't contradict it. But if you contradict it, it's really the Lord that put a strong delusion where you can't believe in this. And I don't want that on me and anybody else that's a true believer. So this Baruch chapter 4, verse 6 and 7, it says, ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved God to wrath, you were delivered unto your enemies. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to God. So Baruch is saying this. I have to have faith that this is real, but the Lord is allowing me to see this even more because a lot of our people is serving other gods and don't want to come back to the Lord. This is why the Lord put all this stuff in the book, because he knew most Jake are not going to want to read or hear this word. It is totally fine, right? And this is what captivity was made. It was made to sift out the elect. Right now, in other cases, like Yahushua told Simon Peter, Satan wants to sift you out. Sift you out is bad in that case, but I'm using it in a good case. When you making a cake and you sifting your flour or your powdered sugar, the ones without lump sift through the sifter. That is the elect. The lumps is the 2/3 that just get trashed, right? So dropping down to verse 25, it says, my children, suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from God. So what we read in Jeremiah 32 and 42, this is just showing proof that the Lord has done this unto us. This what makes me believe in the word more, because the Lord done this to us. We ignored the prophets. Some of us started to become lazy as prophets or leaders. Some of our women went off. You can't go outside and look and say, oh, we a strong nation. Our women are strong. No, we're not. Things change. Little kids is stealing cars at 14, like it's getting worse and worse. Crack babies, monstrous children, single house homes, right? We wasn't never like that as a people, but you go to other nations, their houses in order, right? It says, for thy enemy have persecuted thee, but surely thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon thy neck. Hold on, let's go back to that Jeremiah, because at the end of the verse, the Lord says something. Jeremiah 32, verse 42. He said, thus saith Yahweh, like as I have brought all this great evil upon this people, so will I bring upon them all the good that I have promised them. What's the good? Giving you that land that he promised you, your inheritance, ruling over the nations, right? Getting your crown, getting them spiritual bodies, right? Who's going to change our veiled bodies, right? If you ain't believing in the Lord, believing in these scriptures, you ain't getting out. How else can we get connected to the Lord? The Lord don't think like how we think. He set us up for the okie doke, because it takes real diligence to sit your butt down and read. It takes real diligence for you to watch lessons and somebody break down the scriptures for you, right? You have to be obedient in some type of way, right? This is St. John, the 13th chapter, verse 34 to 35. It says, a new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love for one for another. And the disciples are going to walk like Yahushua. Saint 1 John 1, 2 and 6. They're going to lay themselves down like a living sacrifice. Look like a fool. What did that dude just say? Have fun being a delusional little sheep, following your 2,000-year-old fantasy book. I'm thankful you say 2,000. I like that. And you called me a sheep. Hey, I'm still getting confirmations through that message. I want to be a sheep. I don't want to be the goat. I want to be the sheep. I want to believe in something that the Lord established 2,000 years ago. How? Because I believe in something that I don't see. Right? I'm going to get that too. But let me get this. Why would I believe in this more? Because if this was a man, like a full man-made book, it wouldn't say this right here. It won't say this right here if this was a man-made book. This is 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 19 and 21. And these is scribes, these is prophets that did the labor before us. We entered into other man's labors so that we can actually read this book and say that we believe. I don't have to write no book no more, because it was already done before my time. Thank you. The Wadi Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know? Verse 19, it says, we have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed as unto a light that shineth in a dark place until the day dawn and the day star arise in your hearts. Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scriptures is of any private interpretation. For the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man, but holy men of God spake as they were moved by the Ruach HaKodesh. This is not a Harry Potter thing. Oh, how I possess the Ruach HaKodesh is in me. No, it's a moving, pure motion. The Lord can put it in you and you don't even know. But of course, if we move by the Spirit, you're going to know. I do believe I move by the Ruach HaKodesh, because it's verses that I don't have written down that I'm bringing out. Right? The Ruach HaKodesh give you a type of passion It gives you a fire. It gives you a sincere feeling, right? Because you have to be sincere in this thing. Let alone you go into deep things. This is deep because everybody's not going to get it. That's why it's deep. When you throw a football, everybody is not going to be able to outrun somebody to go get it. That's hey, this is a deep ball. Who's going to get it? You got to be Randy Moss, you know. So you got to be one of those prophets. You got to be one of those sisters that can shut up and absorb what is being brought out. Because there's no division, and it's supposed to be a harmony joined together. It's supposed to be a song, a symphony that somebody can teach you like, oh snap, that makes sense. Ooh. You know how many people follow Martin Luther King when he said, I have a dream, I have a dream, but the nigga lied? That was a symphony on that side. You're supposed to have a symphony that aligns with the Lord because there's only one doctrine. One doctrine, right? So again, these scriptures was written by holy men. The men that was prophesying and teaching his word, they were moved by the Ruach HaKodesh because they were holy men. In this time, it's men moved, is men moved by the Ruach HaKodesh because they're holy men, right? And man's going of the Lord. It's all the Lord that's doing this, right? So again, St. John 13:35, by this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, my pupils, my learners, if ye have love, one to another. And if you love your brother, you're going to rebuke them when they off, right? You're going to rebuke them sharply. Hey, when the enemy coming, you're going to warn them, hey, yo, oh, no, it's coming. That's love. You warning them. If you don't warn them, then you don't love them. If you know what's about to come and you don't warn them. Anybody not in the Bible, what's the MOTB? You can't know about the MOTB unless you went into the Bible, right? People could say, oh, I know about Hebrew Israelites. How you know about Hebrew Israelites outside the Bible? How do you know their history fully without the Bible? Because there's not the Juju beings. The Juju beings, the small hats, they're not Israelites because they don't even speak about the northern kingdom. They only believe it's Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Somebody lying, right? At the end of the day, if this is not for you, keep it moving, you know? So let's get this. I got a few more that I'm going to let you guys go. Lord, when I can get through it. This Ephesians, the 4th chapter, in verse 1 to 5, it says, and this goes into keep the unity of the Spirit. It says, therefore the prisoner of the Lord beseech you that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye are called, with all lowliness, which is humbleness, meekness, and long suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity. Unity is oneness, likeness, or one accord of the Spirit and bound of peace. Right? So if I say I'm in the Ruach HaKodesh and I'm with another brother in the Ruach HaKodesh, if we both in the same spirit at the same time teaching his word, we both have to be agreeing on the same understanding. Right? We got to be able to tell each other, nah, brother, that's not what that's going in, and be able to be corrected and get the right understanding. Not to be forced. If you don't teach this, you got to go and then get scared and be like, oh man, I got to leave the camp if I don't want to teach the same thing as him. No, you got to truly know that this is what it is. Right? Verse 4, it says, there is one body, one spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling, one Lord, one faith, one baptism. Not the baptism of John the Baptist, but the baptism of Hamashiach Yahushua. St. John 5:39. You think the scriptures going to give you eternal life? No, they testify of me. All the scriptures point us to Yahushua. Yahushua was baptizing us in fire and with the Ruach HaKodesh. This is why in this time we're able to teach this word. Right? That one faith is that one doctrine. Right? So let's go to Romans, the 12th chapter, and let's read verse 4. It says, for as we have many members in one body, you got a finger, you got a toe, you got an eyeball, you got a head, you got arms, you got legs, right? That's one body. And all members have not the same office. That don't mean they don't got the same doctrine. If we're all working in the same building, we all have different positions: manager, secretary, vice president, maybe the employee, the janitor, the operator, whatever, whatever. But we all in the same building. We all have different roles, but we in the same building. And even when we come together, it's the same song. That's plain. I get it. If you don't, I can't make it. Verse 5. So we being many are one body in Hamashiach, and every one members one of another. Right? And this is the elect. It says, having then gifts differing according to the grace, the favor that is given to us. Whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith. Our ministry, let us wait on our ministering, or he that teacheth on teaching, or he that exhorteth, which is encouraged, on exhortation. He that giveth, let him do it with simplicity, and he that ruleth with diligence. He that showeth mercy with cheerfulness. Is different offices, but they're all teaching the same thing. I don't care if you're a leader, you doing this and this, it's the same. If you put us, like when you in jail or the cops arrest you, they'll try to interrogate you. One go here, one go there. And at the end of the day, they can ask y'all all the same questions. You're gonna have the same answers, but he might explain it more eloquently. He might explain it plain, straight to the point, and he might go a little further with talking. But at the end, they like, dang, y'all saying the same thing. Oh, maybe y'all is telling the truth. That's how the ministry is. It has to be the same song. When you hear certain birds and they're all together and they're certain birds, they all make the same tweet. But it could be a different bird, and then this bird, they might not be having the same tweet. Tweedle tweet. We got two more, and then we're going to close. This is Revelation, the 14th chapter. Reading verse 1 and then dropping down to verse 3. It says, I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the ground. Stood on Mount Zion. With him 144,000, having his father's name written in his forehead. And we know that the men of the Lord on this side come in the name of Yahushua. So through the Spirit, they're going to have the Heavenly Father and the Son name on their forehead, which is really spiritual. Ezekiel 9 and 4, verse 3 to 5. It says, they sung as it were a new song before the throne. Because in this time, it is a new song because the books were closed. Daniel 12 and 4. Now the books is open. Nobody heard this truth before. This is something new. But really, from time before, this is not new. It's just the Lord made a famine of the word. None of us knew this until the Lord brought forth the spirit of life back on the earth into the men of the Lord. Right? It says, and you can go, I think Psalms 33 and 3 will tell you, sing me a new song. Right? It says, and before the four beasts and the elders, no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. So while they're on the earth, they're teaching this song. And then when they get up to the heavens, the 144,000 was mainly singing this song of Moses and the Lamb, which is Yahushua. And nobody else could sing that song because the true song was only given to the 144,000. Why is that? And we're going to see verse 4. These are they which were not defiled with women. Is this a literal woman? No. That woman is talking about other philosophies. Because a woman can't defile you, right? You can get unclean sexually, but this defile is spiritual, right? Other philosophies. When we go to Israel, cleaving to other nations, it says that Israel had many lovers, right? So they was not defiled with women, which is other philosophies, for they are virgins. This is not 144,000 they didn't have sex. No, they were virgins. They were untouched by other doctrines, right? They through every time they came back, because in Revelations 1 and 7 that we read, when Yahushua returned, even the same ones that pierced him is going to see his return. So just imagine the ones that was teaching in the time of Yahushua, before Yahushua. They're going to come back in their lot because 1 Corinthians 14 and 32, the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So they're going to come back and they're going to be untouched because their spirit is always coming back to the Lord, always coming back to the Lord, and always teaching what he taught them. St. John 17, he said, I have manifested your name unto these men. He was talking about the disciples. The prophets are going to come back in this time and they're going to be teaching in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. How did they get that name? By studying. But the Lord woke up this man, woke up that man, woke up that man, because through the Spirit, those might be of that number. Those might be those few laborers that the Lord manifest his name when he was on the earth. Right? Some of y'all not going to get that. Yahushua told Thomas, when Thomas said, I'm not going to believe until I run my fingers through his hands. Yahushua said, you believe because you wait. Let's actually get that. Let me not butcher that. So that's what he says. St. John 20, verse 24. But Thomas, one of the 12, called Demas, was not with them when Yahushua came, and the other disciples therefore said unto him, we have seen the Lord. But he said unto them, except I shall see in his hands the print of the nails, and put my fingers into the print of the nails, and thrust my hand into his side, I would not believe. And after 8 days again his disciples were within, and Thomas with them. Then came Yahushua, the doors being shut. Yahushua used his power. We were just talking about this at work. And stood in the midst and said, peace be unto you. Then saith he to Thomas, reach hither thy finger, and behold my hands, and reach hither my hand, and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless, but believing. And Thomas answered and said unto him, my Lord and my power. Yahushua said unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen, yet have believed. So the sheep, the prophets, the true teachers are back on the earth. In our past life, we walk with them, but you don't remember none of it. That's Ecclesiastes 1. He removed all of us from the remembrance of those things. So we're in a time where we're really moving by faith. We believe in what we don't see because it's the things that you don't see are eternal, right? So I believe I was with Yahushua, Lord willing. If not, I believed in the Father and the Son before he came on the earth. Either one. Because if he got me in this now, I definitely believed. Lord willing, he keep me in here, right? So again, Revelations 14:4, these are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto God into the Lamb. That goes into predestination because Yahushua was the example of the firstborn, the true first fruit. The elect is Yahushua's first fruit of the resurrection, right? The first fruit of getting the glorified bodies, right? Verse 5. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God. So it's saying It was no guile. It was no lie in their mouth. Somebody has to be on the earth right now not teaching a lie. Because when they get redeemed, those is the ones that was not teaching a lie. St. John 2 and 21. I have not written unto you because ye know not the truth, but because ye know it, and that no lie is of the truth. Guess what? This is our time. Romans 15:4, the things that are written were written for your learning. So now when you know, wait, everything in the scriptures was written for my learning, so this is for my time. Wait, let me read this again. I have not written unto you because ye know not the truth, but because ye know it. So if I do believe in all of this, the whole volume of the book, I believe in this, is because I know the truth, and there's no lie of the truth. So for me, myself, I will believe I'm following the men of the Lord that's pushing and teaching 100% truth, which allow me to teach 100% truth. Who's your favorite rapper? Like, of course, mine's Lil Wayne. I like Drake. And then sometimes I can remember their songs, blah, 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 and I can say it. The Lord got the men of the Lord singing the same song. The one brother on YouTube, you niggas just gurgitate what they saying and you think you prophets. I don't think I'm a prophet. I know I'm a prophet because I'm bringing forth prophecies that I never used to bring out before, even in the world. But the Lord allowed me to study and get it, believe in this. And I always have a desire to teach. I don't have a desire to do all the other things I used to. I have a desire to do a lesson, teach, teach, teach. If I got the ability, I want to teach. What else can that be? You know? So, Lord willing, that was edifying to the sheep that get it. Again, the title of this is No Division, but Harmony Joined Together. Looked up harmony. Um, let me look that up again. Salaki. Okay. Harmony. When I look it up on homology.com, harmony is the combination of tones pleasing to the ears. So when it comes to teaching, only the elect is going to be uh, pleased by the combination of words or tones, breakdowns of the Lord's doctrine. Is going to be appealing to them, right? Another word for harmony is um, is the name of musical instruments. What's our musical instrument? Psalms 58 and 1. Cry aloud, spare not, blow your voice like a trumpet. Isaiah 58 and 1. Our voice is that instrument, right? Agreement, a chord of sounds, right? We're supposed to be in agreement, means of joining, right? Settled government, right? And that's what we're supposed to be, man. We are supposed to be in agreement, and we're supposed to be bringing forth a pleasing tone to the ears. Only to the elect, not to everybody. Everybody's not going to like this. Only believers. So Lord willing, this edifying to the whole elect, whoever you may be. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKakodash, and the honors to the elder apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Lord, they can continue to endure, be sincere. A mighty shalom to the whole elect that are scattered four corners of the earth in the same spirit. And shalom to the Akmat Yom that are believers in his faith and his truth. Continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, the most have mercy on other brothers and sisters not in faith. Shalom. Shalom.